Page 16, gliding. 6/8 times, so we're counting eighth notes. There's no sharps or flats in the key signature, but we have accidentals, so look out. I want to take it one hand at a time because you're moving around all over and we have to plan for that. So right hand first at the beginning. You're sort of in this position because you have an F coming up. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That pattern is all over the place, just using different notes. Next measure, you come down one key. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then come down again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then take a rest, recover from that, and you go back up, way up here. It's the same pattern, different notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, that's a B flat there now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Recover again. Come way up here, high C. And that note, you can figure it out. Just the ledger lines, 2 ledger lines is a C. 3 ledger lines is an E. 4 ledger lines is a G. So it's a G. If you can't remember that, then take a pencil and put in a G there so to remind you the name of that note. That's what I do. When it gets a lot of ledger lines, I have to stop and count them because I can't just at a glance see how many there are. So I have to do that. And then if I have to do that, I write in the name of the note. So again, that measure, starting with the C, 1, 2, 3, 4, come down, F, then an E, then the measure 12 there. That's the third line, second measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we continue up here. That's an F. We're just coming down. So here you just come down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So forth. Left hand. Here, it's treble clef in both staves here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's kind of nice because the right hand's going nuts, so you got a little stability here, huh? And then the next measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth finger. There. Basically, it's an F major scale fingering, is all it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you do that, and then again, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4. So forth. Put the hands together. Now in that first measure in the left hand, the first measure, they're showing a 2. That should be a 3. That's an error. That's not finger 2. It should be finger 3. Because if you look at the other patterns at different notes, but it's the same pattern, you're using finger 3 each time. Really, you're in this position, and you're just coming down each time, so it should be a finger 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The kicker here is the left hand is all legato. It's all connected, but you have a rest in the right hand. So we want all that. Keep going. Third measure. 1, 2, 3. That's all you're doing. This whole thing is that pattern in various places on the keyboard. Put in the slurs, this down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Don't play the second note short. Give it its full value, but come up. Then we can talk about dynamics. Well, it's soft, and that's both hands. It's up to you on what soft is. You'll have to decide on how soft is. But you get down to the third line and the second measure, you get a little louder. I'd go up to maybe a medium soft. You don't need to get loud here. Just go up a little bit. And then stay at medium loud here as best you can. Until you get down to the bottom, the last 2 measures, you're coming back down, come back down to soft. The last 2 measures. And then is a poco retardando. You slow down a little bit. They're telling you to cross over here. I typically don't cross over my thumb if I don't have to. So my tendency is on the last bit on the right hand is to come down the second finger and play that like that. But it depends on how big your hands are too. So that's fine to the last three notes in the right hand. You can do a 5-1-2 or a 5-2-1 if your hand's big enough. I tend to do a 2-1 so I don't cross my thumb over my thumb. Something about the thumb, I'm not sure. And then it says happy landing, which is basically the same thing as saying I'm glad this is over or something. I'm not sure. Then they add pedal to smooth it out and blur it up and add color and all that stuff. It's overlapping pedal except for the few measures in there where you have those eighth notes going up. You don't want to smear those, I guess. I don't know why, but they don't, so okay. So I'm going to push the notes down first and then the pedal. I'm changing the pedal at each measure and I'll do it right after I play the note. And I'm lifting the pedal up in that measure, the last two measures, the first line. I'm lifting the pedal up after I play the first note in the measure. I'm connecting everything. There's a couple ways it has to do with interpreting it. You can consider the first four measure a phrase, a musical sentence, and you can do that. And have a little silence there. And then connect all that together. And that's fine, that's a way of interpreting it. Another way would be to go ahead and just connect it all with the pedal. Like that. I'll leave it up to you as to which way you do it. I think it's more musical if we put a little silence in that after and start that one new. Because if you see the phrase marks or the slur marks between on the last two measures there and the first line and the bottom staff, they connect, they come together. This is what they call an elided phrase or a connecting phrase. It's where the note in one phrase, it's the last note in the one phrase and the first note in the next. The note serves two purposes. And in that case, you connect it all. It just is here. You connect it all. Well, I do that anyway because this leads into the other. This leads into this. And I'm not going to separate. If it leads into it, I don't want to separate it. No, connect it. And that's the way the music's written anyway. So if you want a little silence at the beginning of the measure, so you like that, I think that's a great idea. Go for that. So again, the first line. I'm going to do it the same way throughout the whole piece. The only difference would be in the fourth line down. Here, you're here. They're pedaling this. I don't know why exactly, but they are. So that's fine if you want to pedal. I would suggest maybe try it both ways and see. And the same thing in the last line in the first measure, they're pedaling that. That's fine. And at the end, the pedal and the hands come up together after 6 counts. Because a dotted half note gets 6 counts. In 6, 8, 10. Speed-wise, the allegretto, I call that the fun speed. I think it's about as fast as I was just playing. It's the flow of the piece. See, and the metronome, they're giving you the dotted quarter note, not the eighth notes. Because if I do it by eighth notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, that's like vivace. I mean, that is like really fast. But it's the flow of the piece. That's kind of, that actually kind of slow. But when I add in the eighth notes, that the overall flow of it. Now it's more like a between allegro and moderato. I said those backwards, but you understand, I hope. So that's my impression. It's a suggestion. You got to get the note first so you can play it accurately because you're moving all over everywhere. And get into the music so you can feel it. You see, you're not going to play the first 2.5 lines right at soft. You come up and down. You're just in the soft area. You come up and down a little bit with that. You have to experiment and get to know it. Think gliding around in a glider or something up in the air. I hope your imagination works better than mine, but yeah, there you go. But the idea, I think, in the first half of the song, you're kind of going up because you're going up the keyboard. And then at the end of the line, you're up here. And then toward later in the second line, you're up here. And then in the middle of the third line, you've reached about as high as you're going to. And now you're going to start coming back down. And you come back all the way down to here. And you landed safely. So you're not going to have a lot of swings and loudness, but you can have a little bit. I'd like to play this with you very, very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. I don't think the rhythms are really a problem because you just got these steady 8th note pulses going on all the time. But I'll give a 6 count. Let's just try it slowly together. 1, 2, 3, 4, ready, go. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Three, 4, 5, 6, off.